Ted Bundy was a good-looking, intelligent man. He used these qualities to claim his victims. He would defend his innocence until his death in the electric chair. While growing up, Bundy lived with his mom and grandparents. They led him to believe that his mother was actually his sister because of how young she had him. Bundy was very shy and uncomfortable in social situations while in his youth. He was often bullied and teased in middle school. Regardless, he was able to maintain a high grade point average throughout high school and later into college. During high school, he began to blossom and his popularity increased significantly. He was considered to be well-dressed and have very good manners. Bundy's interests included skiing and politics. His interest in politics would temporarily land him a job in a political arena. Following high school, Bundy attended the University of Puget Sound and the University of Washington. He worked many low-level jobs to make his way through college. He never stayed at one job for very long. He was considered to be unreliable. He began a relationship in the spring of 1967. She was the perfect girl with the perfect qualities for him. She was beautiful, highly sophisticated, and a product of a wealthy California family. They both enjoyed skiing together, and she was believed to be the first person he was sexually active with. She liked Ted a lot, but believed he had no real direction or future goals. Bundy would do anything to impress her, including lying, which she hated. After she graduated from the University of Washington, she broke up with him. Bundy never recovered from the breakup. He ended up dropping out of school and became very depressed. He was obsessed with this girl. He stayed in touch with her by writing. She was uninterested in getting back together, however. This obsession would last a lifetime and led to a series of events that would shock the world. Bundy was sent to prison on charges of kidnapping and murdering of a young college girl. One of his trips to the library at the courthouse, he managed to jump from an open window, injuring his ankle in his escape to freedom. He was not wearing leg irons or handcuffs, so he didn't stand out among citizens in the town of Aspen. Aspen police were quick to set up roadblocks, forcing Bundy to stay in town. Bundy was able to elude the cops for days. He managed to live off food stolen from local cabins and campers. Bundy realized that he needed a car to get past the police barriers. He eventually found a car with the keys in it, but while trying to flee Aspen, he was spotted with the stolen vehicle. From then on, Bundy was forced to wear handcuffs and leg irons in the library. 7 months later, Bundy would attempt his second escape. This attempt would be more successful. He would crawl up into a ceiling tile of the Garfield County Jail. He made his way to a jailer's apartment. He waited until he knew everyone was gone and walked right out the front door. His escape would go undiscovered until the following afternoon, over 15 hours later. Bundy was well on his way to Chicago by the time the police found out about his escape. This was just one stop on his way to Tallahassee, Florida. By January of 1978, he was comfortably settled in a one-room apartment going by the name Chris Hagen. He enjoyed being able to start over with new people. He spent most of his time on the Florida State University campus, where he would sneak into college classes and listen to lectures for enjoyment. Theft became second nature to him. He stole everything he owned. The one thing he was missing was companionship. Bundy once again began to kill, which will lead to him being captured for good. There was some suspicion that Bundy was in the Tallahassee area from his recent murders. Bundy was headed to another part of Florida in a stolen Volkswagen Bug. Officer Lee, who was on patrol the night Bundy decided to flee, saw his vehicle but didn't recognize it. He then pursued the car and found out it was stolen. He pulled Bundy over and ordered him to get out of the car with his hands on the hood. As he was being handcuffed, he began to fight and then run. Officer Lee then took a shot at him, and Bundy dropped, pretending to have been shot. Once Officer Lee approached him, they began to fight once again. However, Officer Lee overpowered him. Bundy was caught for good this time. This ended one of the greatest escapes from prison of all time.